Guys, today's case starts with a situation that already sounds complicated. A mother has 0 overnight custody, and now she's challenging the amount of child support the court says she must pay.
I understand that I have to pay something for Nathan, but it just feels unfair because Jake deliberately took them from me. I believe that this was very much orchestrated. His motive 100% of the time has just been to get money from me. So they just kind of used what I had made year to date and then divided
Right.
that
That's
out.
if you pick up a quarter on the street corner, it's income. If I grant you an order to enforce your parenting time, the police will not enforce it.
Sure.
Why don't we start with the pay objection? Go ahead with that one.
So they just kind of used what I had made year to date and then divided
Right.
that
That's
out. But I work in
that's the math.
healthcare.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
mathematical equation they use. They take
sure.
the longer in the year that we've got you, the more likely
Hmm.
it is that it's most accurate. The closer we get to December, that's your yearly income. And on the front of
Yeah,
the court, if you pick up a quarter on the street corner, it's income.
sure.
Basically.
So my
So,
only objection to it was that because of COVID and healthcare, I had these extra shifts that I was working. And when
right.
the COVID subsidies ended, those were no longer available for me. So that's why I supplied kind of what my salary is um,
Do you have a
supposed
current
to
pay stub?
be. I can
No,
get
I
one to you.
supposed to be doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Actually matters. So if you're working
yeah,
overtime and stuff, that's all considered.
yeah.
The
I was just
law does not
thinking
have a choice.
going forward, those wouldn't be available to me.
Well, the going forward is something that we will look at going
Mhm.
forward. Right
Right.
now, because forgive me, but we've had a lot of people that come in at this point, look at their employer, go, I'm stopping overtime.
Oh,
Then they come
this
in with your
wasn't
store,
overtime. They
well,
were just
or
extra.
shift differentials or extra shifts or whatever. But
Yeah,
then they stop it, and then they come in trying to make that complaint, and a month later we find out they're doing it again. So
right.
forgive
No,
me.
I
That's
understand that.
yeah. That's why
Yep,
we always use the past, not the future.
sure.
And if you're lowered income, you can come back in like 6 to 8 months and show us that, hey, there's been 6 to 8 months, you've got my income wrong. That's a valid argument 6 to 8 months from
Okay.
now when you can
Okay.
show us that it actually stopped and didn't restart.
Sure. That's fair. I
Yeah,
understand that.
it is what it is, then
Yep.
we relook at it. But a change of
Okay.
circumstance in child support is a change in your income through no fault of your own.
Okay.
All right. As to
Okay.
your argument as to his income, I can tell you that how this is calculated is 100% based on your income.
Okay.
Normally, it's based 96 to 98% on your income.
Okay.
But mathematically speaking, because there's 0 overnights, what the thing does is it calculates what percentage overnights you have, what percentage he has. It
Okay.
calculates what he would pay you if you had 100% custody, then what you
Okay.
would pay him if he had 100% custody, and then it subtracts the two.
Okay.
And that's what
Um,
generally went. But since there's 0 overnights, anything times 0 to his income
right.
mathematically is 0. So I can double his income. I can cut it in half. It will not affect this.
Okay.
Also mathematically, anywhere from 1 to 70 overnights minimally affects the child support. And
Okay.
that's based on the fact that they don't want people arguing over the standard parenting time of every other week, every other weekend, 3 or 4 weeks in the summer, every other holiday, every other spring break.
So I
So
guess that like
mathematically speaking, yeah, they carve it out. So 0 is
sure.
just one of those weird exceptions, but 1 to 70 doesn't do much either.
Okay. I guess I have a
Okay,
question about that too.
sure.
Because our custody is in dispute. I technically have custody, but he is in contempt in keeping them.
It,
So that doesn't matter that he's
in,
just like
in what way is he in contempt for keeping them? How is that?
our divorce decree stated that I would have Jack 100% of the time, and then he would have Nathan Wednesday night for a couple hours, and he would return home, and then every other weekend he'd have him Friday night,
Okay, so
Saturday night, overnight.
I guess my question would be, has this been sent to the front of the court for a custody review?
So what we've been doing is mediation. What happened was
Okay.
Nathan ran away, and then
Oh, okay.
so we're in the midst of all of that, and
So
like
so
I
so
get it,
Nathan
like our like
Nathan
my
Nathan voted with his feet,
and
basically.
his yes, and his dad kept
Well,
him.
and Jacob, we'll get to Jacob because I think Jacob may be or may not be, yeah, in or out of the picture. because
Okay.
he's 18. I can't control what I lose
Mhm.
jurisdiction of parenting time in custody when they turn 18. The only
Right,
thing I can
right. And
maintain is child support as long as they are attending full-time high school
okay.
with
And he's
anticipation of actual
graduated
graduation.
and he's 18. So
Mr. Warner, what has happened with Jacob? So he's graduated?
Ja-
it's actually,
Jackson, he Jackson graduated December 21st or 22nd of this year. He
Okay.
turned 18 in October.
Okay.
So our review was done. She was supposed to pay November and December for Jackson and
Yeah,
Nathan.
that's what would happen. That's why both of them are on it then, because it would continue through December 31st after he graduated. So it's
Yep,
18 and out. So
yep,
basically he's 18 and now he's out. So it would go to, it goes to the end of the month he graduated. So December 31st is when it would end. So
yep,
November,
and
December, and then the
yep.
lower rate for the one child starts then, and it may be arguable because it may be preserved if you guys have been coming to court
We
for
we
Nathan.
we we've been going through this parenting counselor,
How
Guy
old is
Jacobson,
how old is Nathan?
16.
Good. Another 16-year-old running the show. Sorry, last motion day I had 4 motions with 16-year-olds running the show
yeah.
because I have no legal authority to hold them in contempt. I have no legal authority to force them, and no police officer. Miss Warner, if I grant you an order to enforce your parenting time,
Hmm.
The judge even explains that police typically will not enforce parenting time orders for older teenagers. If a 16-year-old chooses to stay with one parent, officers generally treat it as a family matter rather than something they can physically intervene in.
the
You're,
police will not
you're on.
enforce it. He's 16,
You're
they're
I
on.
not going to
You're
enforce
on.
understand. The day Nathan left, I contacted the police and they told me that the other party had already contacted them to find out what would happen.
it.
And
Right.
so right there, my hands were tied. And I've been going through all of the steps that friend of the court has asked of me. And
And our problem is we can't hold people in contempt.
Your
I
Honor,
mean,
if I may.
yes, Mr. Baker.
I gave overnight some scrutiny based on the submissions, and the last two parenting time orders grant Ms. Warner 0 overnights. That's a parenting time order from June
Oh,
7, 2023, and from
okay, so
October 31st, 2023.
okay, so we actually have
They're both
orders giving you.
stipulated. Both
Okay, thank
stipulated
you, Mr.
orders.
Baker. Yeah,
You're
I'm
welcome.
sorry. I generally only concentrate on the child support order, but thank you for that, Mr. Baker, because if the court's ordered 0, then the court's ordered 0. There's nothing, there's not much I can do on the child support issue.
okay.
But I would
And what
continue
if,
to continue because the only thing we can do is probably order counseling eventually, but very rarely after they're 16 does that work. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but you know, we keep
well,
trying. We'll keep trying it because we have to keep trying till they're 18, but at some point there's not much
we're
we can do.
we're doing counseling and like I know my relationship with him is never going to be the same and he's not likely to come back around until he's an adult and can see like what it's worth. I
Right.
get that. And I
That's
understand that I have to pay something for Nathan, but it just feels unfair because Jake deliberately took them from me. I believe that this was very much orchestrated. He went through court to get custody the proper way in August of 2022. It was denied by the judge, and he kind of
right.
set this plan into motion after that. And I feel like I'm being punished for that. And like he had Nathan for a week and then filed to abate the child support. His motive 100% of the time has just been to get money from me.
Right.
He has threatened me. I don't even know how many times. And he told me right off the bat, Nathan's not coming back. The only thing that I would ask is that with our mediation, our child support wasn't supposed to change. So I would hope that this would be going forward and Jack would kind of be a mute point and that maybe I could pay a more reasonable amount for Nathan, kind of the equivalent to what
I'm,
I
af-
was receiving.
I'm afraid child support is set by law. I'm not sure what it was calculated at before, but child support is set by law and it's set by the actual placement of the child.
Okay.
That's why the court orders don't necessarily equate in this manner. In
That's
other
unfortunate.
words, yeah, it is unfortunate, but that's what the law is. Generally,
Okay.
this is the morning I unfortunately get to explain it to people that have never read it, and not many of us walk out of here happy.
No, I mean, like, I guess it is
Yeah,
what
I
it
know.
is, and I'll
I
accept whatever it is, but I don't think it's fair and I
I
don't think it's right.
personally I agree with you, but legally I can't change it. It is what it is. We've got your actual pay. You can come back in 6 to 8 months and show that here's the annual amount that you calculated me on. That was based on this. I need it recalculated because that is long gone, and this shows it.
Okay.
At this point, that's the best I can do for you, unfortunately. And I will give you both the same warning I gave everyone with 16-year-olds. They tend to vote with their 70% of the time, they vote with their feet and move back with the other parent after about a year with the parent they moved to, because they find out it's no different. The other 30%
Well, I
of the
think
time they do change.
Nathan is
But,
out running wild, so he won't be coming back.
well, you never know. If he's out running wild, he may wind up in the delinquency court, and then they control where the kid's placed.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might happen.
You never know. All righty. Good luck, everybody. It is what it is, so I'm going to enter the recommendation. Mr. Warner,
Can
did you
I-
have a question? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is this going to be like going back to when?
It starts on November 1st, which means you'd pay for the 2 kids from November to December, and then we are going to make sure that that ends on December 31st for Jake, and it goes down to the only one child as of January 1st.
Okay, and then like if that is going to be a financial burden to me, is there a potential for me to pay a lump sum, like take out a loan to do that, because I can't
You mean
afford to pay that?
those you don't have to. It's only collected, like, I forgot, $80 a month or something until paid off. The arrearage.
Even that $750 towards Nathan,
No, the
because if you take that,
$750 is going to come out of your pay.
so that's what I'm saying. That 750 plus the 500 that I'm going to be losing, that's like almost $1,300 a month. I can't afford that with my bills. So I'm wondering if I could somehow get a personal loan, like to pay a lump sum just at once and be done.
You can't pay a lump sum because it's then non-changeable. What you
Okay.
could do is take out a loan and then use it like a HELOC and pay it. You take out of that loan monthly to pay the child support.
Okay.
It comes out to $172 a week. A month is 4.35 weeks. So while the charge comes in at a monthly rate of 12 months per year, because there's 26 pays for most people, not 24, it comes out a different amount. So it's $172 a month.
In the final moments, the judge offers practical guidance moving forward. If her income truly decreases in the coming months, she can return with updated documentation and request a new calculation. As for the financial concerns, the court explains that any back amount owed will be collected gradually, rather than all at once. With that clarification, the hearing wraps up. It's a reminder that family court decisions often follow strict legal formulas, even when the emotions involved are far more complicated.